Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending where in the world you are, and of course, what time of day or night it is either. Welcome to the podcast Up on the Edge with Al and Owen. I'm your host, Alan Neild, Big Al, or just Al, whatever you want to call me. And each week, I'm going to be joined by regular co-host Owen Sherratt and other special guests along the way too. Right, let's get right into it. This is the podcast Up on the Edge.
Well, a lad I used to work with called Stuart Lyons, I think. Not Stuart Lyons. I can't think of his name now. Teabag we used to call him.
Why did you call him Teabag?
I don't know. It's just a nickname he got.
Why did you call him Teabag?
Oh, no, I don't know. Scott. I think he was called Taylor. Stuart Taylor, something like that. He was in Josh's Giants as well.
Really?
Mm. So, because the guy that was in Josh's Giants, who was running the team, went on to be the guy in charge of the kitchen in Dinner Ladies.
Were you in Josh's Giants? Oh, no.
No.
You were in Mark Curry, weren't you?
Mark Curry, yeah. No. I'd be good at Cheddar's Place, pop me.
Do you know, hey, listen, and a friend of mine has been on, he was on Crackerjack the other day.
Was he?
How cute Darren Harper.
Darren, yeah, we were interviewing him,
weren't we? Yeah.
I'm going to watch it, because I love Crackerjack, me.
Hey,
we had brought it back.
Somebody here.
Is there? Who's that?
Do you want to let him
in? At the door. Yeah, let him in. Go on.
Hey!
How you doing, young man? Hey, how impressive is that beard? Wow.
It's old Father Time. How are you?
Hiya, mate.
How are you?
I'm all right, Cocker. How are you?
Hey, we were just talking about you.
Were you? I heard you.
Absolutely. No, you didn't. You're lying.
I got this feeling, man. So I thought I'm going to sneak in and listen on you.
Yeah.
Hey, Stuart, this is Owen, by the way. This is Owen.
Hi, Stuart. You all right, mate?
I'm good, man. Are you?
Nice. Yeah, all good, our kid. Yeah. Oh.
We were just saying, that.
Yeah.
Because we went to school together. We went to that fabulous North Chadderton Comprehensive, and it was great. And so we're talking like when you were growing up, you were acting and one thing and another. I say when you were growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Owen's just turned around and said, the most impressive thing was it was in Josh's Giants.
I was, mate. Yeah.
I had no idea.
How did you get that gig?
I was on telly. I mean, I was oddly enough, I'd done another one of these podcasts recently, and because I'd done these 3 parts in Corrie. My first part was a Paperboy when Jenny Bradley first came.
Jenny Bradley. I had a bit of a crush on her back then because we're a similar age. And Jenny, but she's aged quite well, hasn't she, really?
She does. She just looks the same, to be fair, mate.
Yeah.
I actually went out with her years ago for real when we went to Theatre Workshop together.
Hey, boom.
Yeah, boom.
Hey, I tell you. There'd be like loads of lads our age that were made to watch Coronation Street in them days because there was only 4 channels back then, weren't there?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
When you first went on.
You had to get up to turn telly over as well, didn't you?
That's right, yeah. That? Well, no, your dad would make you turn the telly over. You were the remote.
And get a slipper and try and throw some at
No good. Or do you remember the other ones where you used to click them really loud and it used to flick through?
Yeah.
How posh were we, yeah.
We're showing our age now, man.
Yeah. But because obviously we're similar age. But Jenny Bradley at the time was just phenomenal, wasn't she?
She still is.
Oh, yeah,
she's got a set of pins.
She still is, mate,
Yeah.
She's done well, mate. She's doing well, yeah. She looks well. She hasn't aged at all, really, looking back.
Not really, no.
Got better with age now.
Yeah.
So I was doing it as a kid, mate. I mean, I was pretty, I kind of went throughout school, kind of not doing too much and not kind of rearing my head up. And then about 14, 15, I did Kes with like Matthew Dunster. We had a really good drama department at our school, Colin Snell.
Colin Snell. How good was he?
Snell. He was brilliant, mate. And it's weird. I often think of this now because he didn't really direct you. It was strange what he did. He let you, I don't know what he did really. Looking back, I'm thinking, what actually did he do? But he got some performances. And some of the guys from that school, there's myself, Matthew Dunster, Joe Hartley, Jeff Percy, Jeff Orley, Kane Dingle. We all came from that school, and we're all on telly, and it's because of Colin Snell, really. And he got these wonderful performances out of us. So I kind of went throughout school, kind of just under the radar. And then 14, 15 did Kes, and then did the Paperboy, and I had my Kappa coat at school, and I wore it on telly. So all of a sudden, got to 15, I was getting a bit popular, like, you know. So
Kappa.
my last year in school was all right.
All the posh kids had Kappa when I was at school. There's about 3 of them. Well,
it's only because I was on telly, mate. I think my mum got it because I was on telly.
You see, I remember
the rest of the money on the booze.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I remember back in the day, I was about 18, 19 years old. And there's this whisper going round Sheddings, going, there's a famous guy in, there's a famous guy. He's off Coronation Street. And I'm like, oh, where? Turn round, Stuart Wolfenden's behind me. Oh, you just got to school with him.
Yeah. Days. But like saying there, mate, I mean, it was only 4 channels, mate. So you like 22, 23 million viewers every single week, mate. We was literally, I mean, I came off of YTS. I went to Bobby Langley DJ. I went to Grange Arts Centre there and did a bit of college stuff, a bit of YTS, and did a bit of college stuff, a bit of art, and basically just a bit of skiving because I didn't know what I was going to do. I was doing the acting and stuff, doing a bit of bands and that. And then Corrie came calling at 19, you know, and it just all dramatically changed really, really quick.
Did they come to you, or did you go to them? What was?
Well, the thing is with Corrie, mate, it's you kind of, and a lot of the soap, because I've done the Paperboy, that it kind of seemed to happen that way where I was known. I mean, I've done quite a bit of stuff as a kid. I've done Josh's Giants for the Making Out series. I've done Sean Bean's very first film, My Kingdom for a Horse, his very first film with Sheila Hancock. I've done that at like 17. I had an equity card at like 14. In them days, you had to get one. So I was pretty lucky. So my name was getting known, do you know what I mean, at Granada and stuff. I was always going for auditions and that. So I did the Paperboy, and then it came up, and we got word off my agent that it's a decent part, this. So I think I had 2 or 3 recalls for it. But initially, it was only like a 6-week contract, and I stayed there for nearly 3 years, you know.
Wow,
but
it's not bad going, is it?
Yeah, I mean, it was in the days of, it was a lot tougher in them days, you know what I mean? Because there was a lot of people watching you. It's harder now in some ways. It's faster and they do more reps and stuff, but there's a lot of pressure on in them days. We didn't have, it was the big thing. Do you know what I mean? It was like you represented Granada and stuff. You had to kind of behave yourself. Really.
You know what I mean? You know what? In fairness, you was a mechanic, weren't you? With Kevin, you were Mark Casey. Is that right?
Mark Casey, mate. Yeah, it's my garage job. It's mine.
Was it yours?
Kev's, it was mine.
And
you came in and gave it me for my 21st.
Yeah.
Apparently so, mate. Yeah, apparently so.
In fact, I think you've just been on in the classic Coronation Street.
I think it came, last year.
Yeah.
It was funny looking back because you think you remember it all, and then you watch some of it, you think, oh,
wow.
No, it's
how does it
like 30 years ago, man? It's 30 years ago.
How does it make you feel, though, when you look at Kev now and he sold that bloody garage from under your feet? What's going on?
Yes. I don't know, mate. I don't know. And then Tyrone ended up with my overalls, and I thought it was quite slim in the day. And then a few years back, I saw these purple. I thought, recognise them purple overalls. They're mine then. You know what I mean? I must have been bigger than I thought, mate. Yeah.
It runs in the family a little bit as well, doesn't it? Because I've seen your sister.
That kid,
yeah.
Paula's done a few parts on Corrie, mate. Yeah, she now lives in Dublin now. She's been over there a few years.
Yeah.
But she's done a few bits, and Hollyoaks she was in.
But you were in Hollyoaks yourself, weren't you?
I was, mate. Only 2 years ago, I came in as Steve's nasty dad, stepdad. Yeah, so
that's right.
That's been left, mate. Because originally there was another actor playing it many years ago, and they do that quite a bit. And then they recast it and they offered it me. And he said if he comes back again, kind of thing. It's always been left open. That's a really nice job. That nice people over there, mate. So you never know.
A lad I know, Ian, he's now at Coronation Street, but he left Coronation Street to go over to produce Hollyoaks a few years ago. Then when I was poached back to go to Emmerdale, and now he's at Coronation Street.
They do a lot of that. They move around, don't they? I mean, Denise Welsh has just gone in it, hasn't she? Oddly enough, Denise Welsh has just gone in it as my sister's character in Hollyoaks. My sister played the mum years ago, and I know she was a bit pissed when it linked to the paper, and she sent me a text saying, "Can't believe they've recast me, and Denise Welsh is doing it." Like, so you're in Dublin, kid. What are you going to do? Do you know what I mean? But it's the way it goes, mate. You know.
No.
How are you guys anyway? How's it been?
Do you want the honest truth?
It's like a night out, this, isn't it?
No, mate, I always wear one of these, me. Honestly, I've always got an hoodie on. He's not usually got a football top on. But,
of some sorts, yeah.
Yeah, and he's.
You want to go out though.
He's even got the clothes hanging up in the background as well. Have you noticed that?
Do you know what? At the moment, I'm doing the kitchen. At the moment, we can't get in the bedrooms. It's one mum's auntie's jackets that I don't wear it myself. It's just that. Yeah, if only if it could fit in, that'd be a lot slimmer.
It's one of my auntie's jackets.
It is. It's my mum's auntie's jacket. She's in a nursing home. And what's happened is because we're having the kitchen done and what have you, mum's had it dry clean, but because she's stuff in mum's room, there's stuff in my room over that side. And the thing is there's nowhere to get it. You can't get anywhere. So
that's your David Essex jacket.
David Essex. I wish. I was walking on one glove on the other day like Alvin Stardust.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said him and not the other one.
Yeah. I was going to go there, but I thought, no, I'll leave it alone.
It won't be the first time anyway.
And look at this. He's got a wee dram as well. Right,
that's a good man.
He's on a bottle of Naked
Grouse. It is.
My dad used to. That was my dad's favourite drink. That Grouse, he loved that.
No, can you tell us about? Do you know about Naked though? Do you know what it is?
No, I'm a clue, mate. No.
There's a story.
It's the first. What it is obviously when they blend the whiskey, they put it in a cask, don't they, to mature the rest of the time. Well, this one it's called Naked because it's the first whiskey to go into a particular type of cask, and it's gone into a sherry cask, which is where it gets its colour from. So you've got the undertones of the sherry coming through. I feel really refined, you know. But you see, my favourite is Glenord.
Right, okay.
Years and years ago, I got a bottle of Glenord off someone I'd done some work for. And I went on to mate's house. I've got this bottle of whiskey. It's gorgeous. And you can taste the heather, the bracken. You can taste it all in it. And me and him sat there supping it. So the other night I thought, I'll tell you what, I'll go on Google and see how much it is. So I just fancied another bottle, 225 quid. And me and my mate polished it off in a night. So I sent him a picture with the price on and what have you. Went, Jesus, Owen, I didn't think it was an expensive date. Hey, some of it's really expensive, but
I know. Yeah, I've got one of my neighbours actually. He's got a. I live in Littlebrain. He's got a shop on Todd Road called Cocktails, and he deals in all this stuff. And I've seen it and I'm like, what? The brandies and stuff like that. I didn't know it was that kind of game. My dad was just a little grouse man. You know what I mean? Just a little little weekend and stuff. But yeah, you can get silly money, can't you? And people collect them and stuff and that.
Some do, yeah, of course they do, yeah. You know, but it's a shame really because you never get to taste it. And the thing is, for me, you've got something. It's like the Japanese whiskies are coming through now. I've got one of them, and it's quite a coarse one, but it's nice.
And that's the reason why he's got a red nose. That's what it is.
Yeah, and cheeks and everything.
Yeah.
You know,
Christmas.
All the times we've been doing these podcasts, when have I ever had an alcoholic drink? That's the first time.
Every time.
Give over.
I brought it out in you, man.
Yeah,
I got a bit of Christmas like this. I thought that amount of work. I thought I might grow this last year, and just in case I needed some extra part of Christmas season. You know what I mean? I put it out on Facebook, but I didn't get a bite.
And you're going on with lockdown anyway. How's it treating you?
It's been rough, man. And it's my last gig was back in March, so it's been got through it kind of thing. Now, initially, it was nice to have that kind of stop a little bit, wasn't it? The world kind of stopped a little bit, didn't it? And none of us knew how serious it was, I don't think, in that. But my missus works in travel as well, Al, so it hits her industry as well. But it's picked up. I think she got furloughed, and then a few people from a company got laid. About 20% of the workforce got laid off. Yeah. But I did a bit of because all my gigs went, and every month you kind of a couple of times they opened back up again. So a couple of the pubs I do a lot, like Milner and stuff like that, and they all were going to honour the gigs. And then I think one of them they opened up, and I was like looking forward to it. It was about 2 weeks off, and then they shut again. But I did one, and I'm sorry I did it really, to be fair, because it was when the rules were coming in. It was like as soon as I turned up, this committee said, right, there'll be no clapping. We don't want people clapping and stuff, and it's not going to be kind of the interaction that normally is and stuff. And don't be singing and not like you normally are, and getting people up on the tables and stuff. We can't have none of that. And he was like, oh man. I said, I'll just DJ or something.
We did the same thing, mate. We turned up. The last gig we did was September 30th, and we did Legends. And we had a brilliant gig. Everybody was all nice and socially distanced from one thing or another. Again, they turned around and said, nobody up dancing, nobody clap. Well, you can clap, but don't get up and cheer out like that. We got people watching, and unfortunately, 3 of us came down with the virus. So me, the guitarist, the keyboard player, Paul Briley was doing sound. He came down with it.
I heard about this.
Yeah, mate. Well, it was me that it came from.
Was it, mate? It's your fault.
It's all my fault.
Yeah.
But
it was on offer that week at Screwfix.
Yeah, it's true.
It's in the basket at the front for 99p.
But I tell you what,
all right though, yeah.
It is. Well, I nearly tapped out, mate. We came close. It was bad.
Seriously, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we've known people, mate, that have gone. Don't get me wrong. Do you know what I mean? Known people that have gone, and families had it and stuff. My mother-in-law works NHS, and she caught for it, and they were fine. You know what I mean? Got tested and stuff. And I mean, we think we kind of had it back early last year, mate. Back just after maybe Christmas last year with all the symptoms and stuff. We think we had it, but it's one of them, isn't it? I mean, it's either massively impact you. On health stuff, or it hasn't, and it's impact you financially or whatever and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So it's you've got to be thankful for your health, mate. First and foremost,
that's the thing. I wake up every day, and I'm still here.
Absolutely, mate.
And then there's we've got mutual friends. Darren Harper lost his dad.
Of course, mate.
I know. Bobby Ball, and I've lost family, and it's just, mate, we're here. We're still alive. Let's just all be sensible and it'll all come in the end, won't it?
And do you know what? It's brought a lot of this stuff out. I've done quite a few of these now, the podcasts and stuff. And I've just recently, because of the music and the album, I've got a bit of a social media thing. I kind of love it and hate it. And I come on it, come off it, back on it. So I was back on Facebook again, and then get back on Twitter again, back on Instagram and stuff like that. And I was on Twitter a few years ago, and I didn't like it at all. But it's great. Do you know what I mean? There's other musicians and stuff. Damon, who I've met a few times now, Badly Drawn Boy's been sharing the album now and stuff like that.
He's a smashing lad, him though, isn't he?
It's absolutely beauty, isn't it? And there's been some real great stuff. Do you know what I mean? That's what people are doing. They're like, let's keep ourselves going. And there's been a real nice vibe and stuff, So it has brought out, it's brought the good out in people because people, we can't get back out, and doing these things are great, when it's like a night out, isn't it?
And I know this has actually sort of turned you to writing more songs as well now, hasn't it?
I started back. I got married in 2018 December.
I was there.
And on my stag do. Yeah, come on, with me. Yeah. On my stag do. I got dressed up as Captain Brexit. I looked a right twat, honestly, mate. It was. I had these little shorts on, and I went to see a David Bowie tribute in Manchester, and a real cool bar, and all cool kids were out and everything. And I'm dressed there in this stupid gear. But me and my mate, Daz Lamberton, who we've known for 30 years, been in different bands. He was a drummer in the Red, White and Blues, and he's done some big gigs down on festival and stuff. Yep. And I've always known he was a writer, and he was always like a bit of guitarist and a bit of piano and stuff like that. So we was talking all night, really. We probably bored the tits off everybody else. We were just talking music all night. And it was something that I'd done a few months ago. I put out on Facebook saying, because I've been doing the pubs on my own for a while. I used to play with Mark Fox and stuff. I've always had good guitarists with us. And I put out on Facebook that I was looking for a guitarist to do some original stuff again. Yeah. And he must have seen it, and I didn't know. So he mentioned it. And then we got Christmas out of the way, and then came January, February, he came around to our house, had a load of ideas. I had some ideas, and we started doing it acoustically. And then because we know Lisa and Steve Buckley over at Lisa Stansfield Studio, we just went, let's go for it. Let's and we all funded it ourselves. We just started doing one song after another, and it's just grown. We had no expectations of it, Al, honestly. We just wanted it was on my bucket list to do. It's been like 30 years in the making. I've always wanted to do it. He's always wanted to do it, put some original stuff down. And that was it, mate. And it kept us busy with the lockdown stuff and that. So we took 10 months to record it. We had one song left to do, and then it got locked down again. So we had to wait a couple of months to go back in and finish it. And then we released it August last year, mate.
And how's it going?
It's going really well, mate. I've done Sweeney's had us on, and it's going well. I've messages around the world. You just don't know. It's a weird one. It's funny, most strangers are kind of bought it. It's on iTunes and it's on Spotify, but I keep now and again putting on Facebook saying, "Hey, mate, you know what I mean? We're out of work, we're not gigging. Where's my mates and stuff?" Because more strangers, your mates are like right type bastards, aren't they?
Yeah. They expect it for now.
I love that, mate. Yeah, I've listened to it on YouTube. I'm like, buy the album then, you bastards. You know what I mean? I'm broke, man. They're all listening on YouTube and all for free and stuff, but they're not. And more strangers are all over the country and even abroad. We've had some America and Canada and God, yeah, it's so we don't know, mate. Honestly, you just don't know.
I've been listening to this album today, ironically enough, right? And
man.
Did you pay for it, Al?
I'll be honest with you, I actually got a link to it. Somebody may have sent me a link earlier on. And I've got to say, I actually really like it. And when you first started talking about it, I was like, well, yeah, of course, Wolfie's a great singer, but I've never known you write stuff before. I've never known you record stuff before. So I was a little bit... There's a little bit of trepidation there, if I'm being brutally honest.
Of course, mate. Yeah.
Now, I want to talk about your influences, because the first couple of tracks I thought, Robbie Williams, possibly.
There's a lot.
You know, as other people said that to you?
They have, mate, but that's me. There's not really Robbie influence, as in songs and stuff, and no disrespect to him in that, but I think my voice, and that, because I've spent 20 odd years doing covers, and I've done a load of Robbie covers and stuff like that, and you know what it's like, how you kind of, I'm an actor as well, so you do mimic a little bit of voices, but I think naturally my tone is a little bit Robbie and stuff. Do you know what I mean? But that influences the blues, mate, and jazz, and my favourite singer's Paul Rodgers, man, and stuff like that. So it's all rock kind of stuff with me, and even a bit of folk and stuff like that. And two guy backing vocals on there, you know who that is, don't you?
No idea. I was trying to work it out, if I'm being honest. So I'm guessing
Cafe, mate.
Really?
It's Ian Wilson, and Ian Wilson's doing the backing vocals, mate, guest vocals from his wife Sue, mate. They're doing other vocals on like 3 other backing vocals on the song. And also there's a song called with a do you know Kev Whitehide's Messes? Between the Vines. Rebecca. She's doing guest vocals on one of them as well.
Wow.
So But
did Kev play drums on any of the tracks for you?
No, Daz has played everything, mate. Everything. Right. Played a lot. Played everything on it. The only thing we did, Steve Buckley, who's Lisa's produced a couple of, he's like the in-house engineer and producer over at Lisa's place, and he's worked for Nena Cherry and Steve Buckley and all kinds of things, mate. And he's done a couple of Lisa's albums, and that's who we wanted to work with. We've both known him for years. I knew him from Square One in Bury many years ago.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
You do, Steve Buckley, right? Genius pianist and
string player and everything.
Everything, mate. He used to play with Lemonade.
Yes,
he did. The guy, don't you? Play with Lemonade.
Yeah.
So we've all known each other. So this was it. So it was me and Daz. We got these songs together acoustically. We had ideas, especially Daz. He had real ideas in his head, and we just built the songs from scratch. And he put the drums down first, then guitars and bass, and then we started to get. We did a couple of the first two or three songs on the album. They were kind of the first ones we did. They're the kind of Robbie ones, I think. And then it gets a bit mature, and we started to get a bit more confident and a bit more. Oh, let's try this and try this. And then Clay came along, and he didn't even tell me this. He brought 4 guys from the BBC Philharmonic Orchestra
with the strings
to play live strings and stuff. And I didn't know. I turned up on the day, and I walked in, and I'm just looking through the glass, and I see them all, thinking, and he went, "Have a listen to this, Steve." And he started. I was in tears, man. Tears. Honestly, I'm like, oh my God. And they didn't even tell me. And Steve had done all the string arrangements for it, kept it quiet from me. So then the pressure was on. I was like, shit, I've got to sing this now. My God.
You bastard.
It was just a little acoustic song. Now it's become this grand gesture. You know what I mean? So, and then the last song on the album's mine, which I wrote when I was about 15, 16. And it was a song called Ocean Full of Tears. Pretty much as it is. And then I lost my dad a couple of years ago, and there's some lyrics in there about my dad and stuff. And we originally we went a bit Coldplay with that, a bit rocky with that. And then we went, do you know what? No, it's not right for the song. And we just stripped it down, and it's just Steve on the piano and my vocals and stuff. And it just, we surprised ourselves. We didn't know what it was going to turn up with. We didn't. Yeah. And like I said, it was just for us. We were just going to do it for us, produce a CD and try and sell a few, and that was it. But it's as when you get like Damon, Badly Drawn Boy, and a few other people listening, and got Terry Orr following me on Instagram and stuff, and
Terry Orr.
Wow. You just don't know, mate. You just don't know. And we started to get an acoustic set together, because that's how we did it. And we was hoping to do some support gigs last year with it, but obviously it got locked down. But this year we're in talks with a few people, and we're hoping we maybe get some nice support slots.
Are you going to take a full band on tour then if you do it, or are you?
No, initially just me and Daz, mate. We're just going to do it acoustically as we did. We may bring the odd people in, but I do because the album is what it is, Al. I do want to put a band with it eventually. Yeah, definitely. Because I think the songs, but some nice support stops where they just want 2 or 3 of you anyway. They don't. There's a couple of bands we've been talking to, and they'd rather just be smaller than bigger. So we're like, right, okay, we can just do this acoustically and it's nice to go back to how the songs were written, kind of thing. So we'll probably do that, mate. But who knows too? Do you know what I mean? You never know.
I get the feeling Al was touting for a bit of a tour himself.
Yeah, well,
play the bass, you know.
Oh, the great bass player. I was going to do your birthday, wasn't I, mate? When I was ending, we did a bit of a rehearsal, didn't we? And then
we did.
I was away, I think, of work.
No,
I couldn't make it on the night. I was working.
Yeah, one at Kids, I think, wasn't it? Something happened anyway.
One at Kids were poorly, mate. That was it. I couldn't get over, mate. Yeah. But I heard it was a good night. But I was looking forward to it. We're going to do Stereophonics with you, wasn't I?
Yeah, I was absolutely. I was K-Lied, mate, and ended up falling over, pissed up. But played.
I've seen some of the pictures.
Down I went. But, you know, hey, it is what it is, you know. So what about going forward then? Are you going to concentrate on the acting? Are you going to concentrate on the music? Are you going to concentrate on a bit of modelling? What's going on?
It's whatever. Bit of modelling. A bit of Father Christmas in, mate. A bit of Father Christmas in. Bad Santa, yeah. If they do a bad English version, a Bad Santa, that's the one,
Santa,
isn't it? Yeah, I love that. Hey, mate, whatever comes, you know what I mean? It's funny, isn't it?
Because pipeline. Is there any acting in the pipeline?
There is, mate. Actually, I'm doing a film in a couple of weeks. Actually, doing a horror film. I can't say too much, but there was some. I was going to do some last year, and then I think it got put off, and it started again. But yeah, I've got to do a bit of filming on that because I've got to. You've got to get COVID tested and all this kind of stuff whenever you go anywhere now and stuff. So, so that is picking up a little bit, and I mean, a lot of auditions the last kind of 5-10 years have all been the Zoom calls anyway. I mean, a lot of time I do have to go down to London for auditions, but so it's not really stopped the auditions. We've still been auditioning stuff. It did stop a lot of the productions in the acting industry, but I mean, that's where the music has stepped in, to be fair, mate. It's kind of kept me sane and kept me going and we did a bit of rehearsals at my house with Daz, and then when the lockdown started again and we kept apart and we did a couple of Zoom calls and stuff like this. And it's kind of dragged out, but it's kind of gone quick as well, hasn't it? So it's about a year now, isn't it?
Well, it's a year the end of next month, isn't it? Really, and next month starts on Monday, doesn't it? So
so I'm looking forward to the future, whatever it holds, mate. I mean, it's I mean, there's always that kind of stigma. I mean, I remember when I first came out of Corial, I mean, you can see it on YouTube. There's a song I did there called "Too Many People," which I recorded at. I did the video at Square One in Bury, and it was given to me by Russ Ballard, who wrote "Since You've Been Gone." So I recorded an album when I was 22. I set up my own record company, and I was going down the band route then. And I half recorded an album, 3/4 of the way through, and the guy who put the money up just got a bit of cold feet. And I've done radio shows with Boys to Men and Michelle Collins. I was up and down the country at 22 trying to promote it. And there was a bit of the stigma there of the Corrie thing and soap stars doing records and that.
Yeah.
But I've always done it. I mean, I've always been in. My first band was a load of kids from was like Jez and Dave Fitton from school, cabin, but you know, and some lads from North Chad was my first band I did. So I've always the two go hand in hand, you know what I mean? I mean, good mate of mine, Paddy Considine, who's got I don't know if you've ever checked his band out, Riding the Low. They're fantastic, man. He's on about his 4th or 5th album now.
Wow.
They're fantastic, man. Yeah, so you want to check them out. Real rock band. Yeah, they're brilliant, mate.
It was definitely a school, though, that developed a lot of talent, didn't it? You know, it didn't matter whether it was sport or entertainment or acting or...
Mark Robbins, wasn't it? Mark Robbins,
yeah. Oh, we also had, oh, God, what was he called? The England captain for a while. David Platt.
Platt, yeah.
David Platt was there.
Yeah.
And
there was a very famous model, wasn't there? Didn't she end up going out with White Stripes guy? Or
yes. She was a gingerbread girl, wasn't she? I can't think of her name.
Yeah.
Owen would have loved her, you know. And this brings us
absolutely Owen. I don't know how tall you are, Owen, because you sat down, but she was very tall, mate. So
yeah, about 6'2", mate. So I'm all right.
Yeah. So I remember one of my first girlfriends in Royton. I remember this, and it just brought me back to that. I remember standing on the wall having to kiss her, mate, and it was a proper big wall as well. You know what I mean? About 16, 17,
Are you going to name her? What was she called?
No, I can't remember, mate. There's been that many, Al. You know what I mean?
Good lad. He's a gentleman. Gentlemen never tell that.
Yeah, he's not. He's not.
I just can't remember, mate. I'm that old.
Yeah, I have the same problem. I don't.
She was tall though. She was a big lass. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a great school for that, mate. There's a few. I'm telling you, Joe Hartley, Willie Ash, a fantastic actor. He was a couple of years younger. Jeff Percy was an year. Jeff Audley, Matthew Dunster, who's done tremendous stuff down in London, hasn't he? And stuff, Royal Shakespeare Company and stuff like that. So
I missed that one.
Matthew Dunster was in my year. Yeah, he's he was in Corrie. Do you know he was in Corrie? Carlo had two brothers. He was one of them. Right. But he was always a theatre, Matthew, and he written plays and stuff. Yeah. Big at the Royal Exchange in Manchester, but he's been at the Royal Shakespeare Company and The Hangman, the big play in the West End, The Hangman went out to Broadway, directed that. I mean, he's massive, mate, in the kind of theatre scene, Matthew Dunster, and he grew up just up from Greyhound, mate.
That's right. Well, I've got to write that one down and chase it up a little bit because I remember him.
Well, Glenn Dunster, do you know Glenn Dunster, his brother in Royton, knocking about Glenn?
No, but I know Matthew. Glenn. I remember Matthew.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know he'd done anything like that.
Yeah.
Massive, mate. Yeah. Well, he was really into. I just came out of. I kind of left school when it was still the drama department. But what they became the increasingly important theatre company, and it was Matthew Dunster, Paul Hilton, and they went outside of school, didn't they, doing a lot of the plays, Blood Brothers and Shakespeare stuff, and that's where he really got into his theatre stuff. And they did a lot of like big drama festivals and stuff. So they kind of it kind of left school and became a bit of a kind of independent thing. Do you know what I mean? A bit of a fringe kind of theatre company.
Yeah.
And he did that for many times. And I kind of, because it's funny because I remember him giving me a bit of shit for going in Corrie, kind of, I took the money and run kind of thing. And it was like, he's all Shakespeare and all. I never understood Shakespeare at all, mate. I went that bright at school.
Didn't get it.
Play football. Yeah. Didn't get it, mate. I played football and I could do a bit of acting. That was it. But I remember seeing him give me a bit of shit for being in Corrie. Yeah, he gave me a bit of shit for being in Corrie. And then years later, he ended up going in it. I was like, yeah, you go, man.
We forgot Kelvin. Of course, Kelvin went to North.
Kelvin went to, of course, man.
Yeah, well, I need to give him. We need to get him on because
get him on, mate. I bumped into him a few weeks ago and Lytham, mate. Yeah, he's a beauty.
Did you really? Yeah,
and his dad. I love his dad.
Oh, he's just ace, isn't he? Yeah. They let us a motorhome a couple of years ago because I was like, I'm going to buy a motorhome and one thing or another. Owen had got one, but it was decrepit. It was old. All the wheels were falling off and everything. So I took this brand new motorhome. We got about 4 miles on the clock and took that around England for a couple of weeks. It was fabulous.
Nice,
but he's just been out in the Caribbean. He's been doing...
he's done really well, mate. He's done really well.
Well, he just won Strictly, didn't he? He won Strictly last year, didn't he, as well?
I never knew. Yeah. And I've done plays with him and stuff. We did, me and him did a play called The Doorman at the comedy store in Manchester. So I've done bits and I've seen Warren. I moved back to Royton for a while, so I used to see Warren a lot, the Greyhound and stuff. Yeah. And so I've always kind of bumped into Kelvin and stuff like that. I never knew he could dance. And when I heard he was on, honestly, when I heard he was going to be on that, I thought, this should be funny. Kelvin.
He was great, wasn't he?
I was like, I didn't know he had that in him, man.
Considering coming at short notice as well.
He was supposed to kept all that quiet.
Yeah. Coming at short notice, didn't he?
Dancing on ice. And then somebody had fallen and hurt themselves, and they just pulled him in on that one quick.
Yeah.
I said, you next week you start, and boom.
Yeah, he's just done this BBC thing, Annie Paradise or something.
That was it. Yeah, Death in Paradise.
Death in Paradise. Oh, is he in that now as well?
He's done that one. He did a couple of
episodes.
Right. Yeah. So
he's got his bikes and his racing cars and everything, and
he's just moved house as well. You want to see his new house?
Has he? Oh, has he moved from Royton, from down there?
Yeah, he's moved. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I'll text you some photographs, mate. You'll shit your pants.
Nice one, mate. He's got all celebrity football star now, hasn't he? He's up there
mate, the footballers can't afford the place he's got. You want to see it?
Wicked, man, wicked.
Huge. Right, listen, we are running out of time here, mate. So I'm just gonna, I want to bring this literally all the way back round again because Owen's not been privy to this yet. So as we're sort of finishing off now, I'm going to play out with a track of yours. And if you think about the album that you've done, what's your favourite track?
Oh, it's difficult, mate. It does change. it changes, mate. It really does. It's there was kind of when I was in the studio, it was either Missionary Man or Tall Trees, and then the last one on my own, The Man I Want to Be, because it's so personal. That's got a bit, and also Feelings Run Deep is difficult, mate. It's one of them four, but it changes.
See, that's the sign of a good album, that you see.
I'm not, but I know
what you find. It's just a rule of thumb. If you get an album and there's one good track on it, you're doing all right. But if there's a 3 or 4 that you can't decipher, then you're on a winner there, mate. Yeah.
Oh, and I'll be honest, mate, and some people, they can take it at whatever way they want to take it, people. I can watch myself on TV because I can watch myself. A lot of actors go, I can't watch myself, I can't stand doing that. I can watch myself as if it's not me, and I can just judge it because I like to watch and see what I've done, and I learn things. Yeah, and I can do that with an album, mate. I know it's me, but I can listen to that album as if it's not me and just as a piece of music. And I'm being honest, there's not a bad song because it's mainly Daz's songwriting. He's a genius, you know what I mean? I've co-written 2 with him, so I can say it. There's not a bad song on that album at all. And like Al said there, mate, people are surprised, they're not expected it because it's come from nowhere kind of thing. We didn't tell anybody we were doing it. But now we want everyone to hear it because we're really proud of it. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And,
that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be.
And we might never do another one again, but
no,
we've actually got other albums with them too. So as soon as we get back in, we're going to do another. We've got another. Well, we've been in lockdown, haven't we? So we've been doing a lot more, mate. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we're serious about it, mate. We want to go. I mean, he's a drum tech for Bobby Elliott for the Hollies, you know, Daz.
Really?
So he was going to go on. He was going on a bit of a world tour. So we had to finish the album at a certain kind of time last year because he was supposed to be going out in the Caribbean and stuff like that. And then that got kiboshed and stuff. But he's still going to do it. But we really do want to. We want to see how far we want to go with it. Well, I can't honestly, mate. I think go on 4 tracks.
You've got to record album number 2. That's got to happen. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about was, has Lisa changed since she used to sing on stage at Roller City back in the day? Remember that?
Has she changed?
Yeah.
No, she's still the same lass, man.
Is she?
I remember on Razzmatazz as well. So.
Oh, mate, she used to be.
Still sounds the same.
There used to be Lisa and Donna Dukes. Used to get up at Roller City.
That's my ex-girlfriend, Donna.
I keep dropping them all in. Do you know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
I mean, she's a fabulous singer, and she was so down to it. She used to go for a drink in the cemetery pub as well, didn't she? And
she's in the cemetery, bottle of 2020 with the mates.
Yeah. Well, I've been going to the cemetery for 30 odd years. It's my kind of local pub that really, as in all my Rochdale mates and stuff. And I used to live 3 doors down from it at one point. I lived opposite Lisa's mum and dad and a sister and that. So I've known Lisa for years. And she's back in Rochdale now, Al. She's back over here now.
She was over in the States, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think she's still got a place in the States, but she lived in Dublin for a long time. I think she lived next door to like Eddie Irvine and Bono and all that, didn't she? She had a Dublin base somewhere. Yeah, she had a pad out there, but she's back here now.
What we're going to do, because we got to finish, because it's going to kick us off any time now. But if you want to come back on this podcast, right, you can't come back on until you get Lisa Stansfield on here for us. Otherwise, you're banned. You're done. You're finished.
I don't know about that. She's a bit of a, she keeps herself to herself.
I know she does, mate. I'm playing with you. Don't worry about it. Right, listen, Stuart Wolfenden. I'm sorry to cut you short, but time is screaming at us. It is so great. This is your song that's playing right now. Thank you very much. Man. We will come and talk to you again very, very soon. Yeah. If people wanted to get hold of this album now and download it, what they got to do, Stu?
StuartWolfenden.com. You can buy it from, but check us out on Twitter. It's on iTunes, mate, Spotify. If you want to be a cheapskate and get it on there, you don't make any money. But if you want a nice CD. Got a nice CD.
That's what he made earlier.
StuartWolfenden.com. Get it on there, man. But check out Twitter and Instagram and all that, mate, and find us there. Yeah.
Love you. Thanks very much indeed.
Love you, brother.
Great to meet you, mate. Take care, mate. Big up, pal.
And you, man.
How can this have happened to me? There must have been some kind of mistake. How can this have happened to me? Must have been some kind of mistake. How can this have happened to me? Happiness to me was like a distant land. Here you stand, smiling at me, holding my hand. This is happening to me. This is happening to me. How is this I'm falling in love? Never thought that I was enough. How is this I'm falling in love? Never thought this life on my own would ever come to much. This is why I'm falling in love. Just when being lonely started taking its toll, you came in and looked into the pit of my soul. You pitted my soul. Your love is heaven to me. Your love is heaven to me. I brush my hair, shave my face, I stay at home every night. Buy new clothes, just want you to know I wanna be with you, be with you. So glad you happened to me. So glad you happened to me. Started taking its toll. You came in and looked into the pit of my soul. You pitted my soul. I'm gonna love you forever. This has happened to me. So glad you happened to me. So glad you happened to me.